Let's tell you about this now. People displaced by floods in Komani in the Eastern Cape say they do not even know where to begin rebuilding their lives. At least 1,000 people were left stranded following heavy rains in the area in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Those affected are being housed in community halls, as Zikhona Tshona is about to show us, and it looks also like the weather is not relenting where you are, Zikhona Tshona.
It certainly does look like it will rain again, Dudu, and that's why people have been struggling in terms of rebuilding their lives. As you've mentioned, in the early hours of Tuesday morning, people were woken up with water gushing viciously so into their homes, and for many of them, once they got up, it was too late. We're told by the survivors of the flooding, particularly in an informal settlement called Gauteng here in Komani, that many of them had to actually climb onto their rooftops to save their lives, and for their children in particular as well. They had to put their children on their roofs just to ensure that they don't get washed away by the water. People have lost absolutely everything. Earlier on today, we visited homes where people have lost their groceries, their identity documents. At least 1,000 people have been affected by this flooding, and they are now being housed in community centers across Komani. So people are not yet able to even go back to sleep in their homes. So government departments in the province have joined hands just to make sure that they have a collaborative response, and as far as responding to the people that have been affected by this disaster. We are currently at one of those centers. Children, women, men, everybody has been affected by this flooding, and as I've mentioned, some of their homes are still flooded as we speak, and people can't go back because the clouds here are still very much pregnant. There has been prospect of rain. But to talk to me more about this is the MEC of Human Settlements in the province, and as far as the response is concerned, if you can just tell us, as Human Settlements, what will you be doing?
Okay, we're here today to deliver part of the material that will be used to erect 227 TRUs. From the last count, we counted 227 households that have been completely displaced. The plan is not to move those families away from the Gauteng or Gauteng informal settlement, because it is at the riverbank and it is prone to disaster. Move them to a new area which has been identified for new settlement or housing development. So today we are bringing that, and we came here to interface and connect with the people, understanding how their livelihoods have been completely shattered, and the plan is for them not to go back to the settlement. Using the informal settlement upgrading fund, the funds we have to respond to emergencies, we are planning on quickly erecting that. The material is already in Komani. That's what we are handing over. We're working with the municipality to ensure that the basic and necessary services are brought into that piece of land and into those plots.
But temporary structures are exactly that, temporary. What is the long-term plan?
This community is part of the New Resting development project that had not started because it was awaiting for the infrastructural and the pre-works to be done. So these families, and in the area where we're going to place them, they are going to be given the plots where there are houses, which is the permanent solution, is going to be erected. We are using informal settlement upgrading because of understanding the backlog of housing, understanding the weight from temporary to formal. But in the meantime, it must be that the dignity must be brought back. We must bring back water. We must build roads in the settlements. We must bring issues of sanitation, because the temporary structure is an emergency response. We want a response that's going to come within a week, because of the nature, as we have witnessed, that they are residing in is not conducive for families, is not conducive, particularly for our women and young children.
And then do we have a time frame for that?
We know that once the land is ready and the contractor is on site, a week to build, because a day they build about 7 temporary structures. The contractor is already appointed, is ready on site. If the weather would just permit us a week, 2 weeks maximum, then we are complete.
There are already people that are saying they will challenge moving because they're comfortable there. Those are their homes. How are you going to deal with that challenge?
The engagement we're having with the community is that if they remain there, they will be affected again by the disaster because of where that settlement is situated. And as government, there are no plans of building any housing development near that river. So we are pleading, we are engaging, and part of the engagements we're doing today to say to them, the intention is for you to have a permanent solution, have a house, and this is where it will be developed. I must say, upon engagement, we've had a fairly positive response, understanding that it is not easy to live a life that you know, closer to the people that you knew, but it's something that is necessary to save lives.
Thank you so much. That's Komani Lusithi, who is the MEC of Human Settlements in the Eastern Cape, of course, detailing that there are plans by government to move people temporarily over the next 10 days to temporary shelters, but also long-term plans to move them into formal structures. As she mentions there, the area that was worst hit by the flooding here in Komani is very close to a riverbank, so certainly it won't work for people to have permanent structures built in that area. And of course, over the next couple of days on the weekend, I will be here in Komani following and tracking this story and giving you the details of exactly how much people have been affected by the heavy rains as well as flooding in this area. And with that, let's go for a short break.